sharing your research. Next up, we have Brian Rule with a presentation titled Agronomic Effects of Split Fertilizer Regime and Harvest Intervals on Energy Cane in Hawai'i.
Hello, hello, hello. If that noise starts, can you all hear me in the back? All right. No, it's a little distracting with the construction. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Rule, and today we'll be talking about the best agronomic effects for energy cane production in Hawaii. First off, we're going to define two terms so we're all on the same page. Energy cane is a cultivar of sugar cane that is meant for biomass production over sugar production. Secondly, we're going to define biofuels. Biofuels are any fuel that are derived from material other than petroleum. It's no secret that there is a history of sugarcane in Hawaii. I'd like to note that that sugarcane was meant for human consumption, and this research is energy cane for biofuel. Globally, there's an interest in biofuels. One of these biofuels is sustainable aviation fuel. Sustainable aviation fuel, particularly, is of interest in island communities like in the Pacific, due to our reliance on imported fuels and the potential risks environmentally, economically, that barging in these fuels give us. To make a biofuel, you can do it from multiple feedstocks. You could use lipids like canola oil from restaurants to make biodiesel like we do in Keaukaha. You could use sugar to make ethanol like you can get at the pumps here right now. But with furthering research, we're able to get biofuels from lignocellulistic biomass. Just so happens, energy cane is made of mostly lignin and cellulose. When making a biofuel, it's a multi-stage process. It starts with a field production, goes to processing, goes to refining, fermentation, etc. This study focuses on the field production and the agronomic effects. Essentially, if we can make more biomass per hectare, we can make more biofuel per hectare. This leads us to this question. How can we maximize energy cane biomass meant for sustainable aviation fuel while also optimizing plant and soil health? We have to look at what factors influence biomass production: the genetics of the cultivar, the fertilization, and the harvest frequency. Harvest frequency is how long we let it grow. Our experiment was a field trial out at the Kaffner Farm in Panieva. We did a complete randomized design with factorials of 2 cultivars, 2 fertilization regimes, and 2 harvest frequencies replicated 3 times. And we started in February of 2021. The cultivars we selected come from breeding programs here on island from the sugarcane era. These were picked because they were isolated for biomass production at the time, which was not sought after. Nitrogen is the leading nutrient for biomass production because of vegetation growth. Due to this, we focused on nitrogen and we had a high and low application rate. Because of energy cane's perennial crop status, it will not stop growing. So until we act on it with a harvest, cut it down because you don't want it, however, it continuously grows. So we chose the industry standard of 18 months and 24. From here on out, a low and a short. a low frequency and a high frequency. Sugarcane also has this interesting ability, once it's harvested, to grow back without being replanted. That is called a ratoon. That ratoon allows us to get 2 harvest events on a short frequency, and at the same time we get 1 harvest event on a long frequency. Response variables that we looked at, the major one is dry matter yield, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But we also looked at leaf tissue nutrient concentration and sugar content. And here are our results. This graph you see here, hopefully see here, is 1 harvest event. The treatment combination with the highest yield is high fertilization, long frequency of growth, and H68 cultivar. However, if we take our ratoon and add it to our short frequency, we see an interesting result. It's similar to our 2-year. This information is highly important to growers because it allows them the flexibility to choose. They can choose to harvest once a year and make the same amount, or they can harvest every 2 years and save money on labor. It depends on where you're at, what your needs are, but this gives them the flexibility. And in our other cultivar, if you had to choose it, you would choose the ratoon plus 1 year because it outperforms across the board. I'd like to thank the USDA, my thesis committee, Dr. Nicholas Kruger, Dr. Bruce Matthews, Dr. Patrick Hart, College of Ag for the use of the farm, and all my friends at the TCBES. And that's a blank screen. Questions? Hopefully you all could see. I just realized at the last minute I was blocking.
Is there currently a means of energy cane production here, like to produce the biofuel from the biomass?
Like on our island?
Or just input?
No. Brazil is looking into it a lot because they already have the setups there. So. The idea is if we can produce it on a island in the Pacific, it's a whole lot safer to go 10 miles than it is 5,000 miles with a barge of fuel. So, and a whole lot cheaper. All right, anybody else? Yes.
Do you have any idea how many acres would need to be planted in order to have a reasonable amount of biofuel production?
We've sent off our samples to get analyzed, see how much biofuel we can generate from this experiment to extrapolate for that. We haven't got those results back yet, sadly. However, literature suggests far less energy cane acres are needed than soybean or corn because the entire stock is lignin and cellulose. So we're using the entire thing opposed to the fruit. So we're using far more of that material than opposed to other crops. Yes?
I gave you guys some struvite, which is waste material from waste water treatment plants. Did that work out as a fertilizer? Did you try it?
We use the commercially available fertilizers like growers use to standardize the test. I think the farm has used it on their sugarcane to use there. So that's a question for you.
So you didn't use a struvite? You don't
Oh, this study didn't, but the farms did.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for your time.